Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Roll Performance. Sorry we missed last week. Between someone having a personal situation and me being sick, we just weren't going to be able to run. This week we are still down a person as Ryan has come down with something. Hopefully he'll be good by next week and be able to rejoin us. So where we left off, the party had started to encounter more flora and a bit more fauna as well, including a giant gazelle. Um, this giant gazelle traveled with the party for a short time, but then split off at the request of a party member who is not great with animals. At which point, the party had quite a few encounters, which, speaking of, from now on, I have edited my random encounter chart. Hopefully, that'll make things a little more spaced out than seven things happening at once. Um, so after dealing with flying hippo people, a orc that seems to be heading to the watering hole that was very standoffish, and some imps relaying an explosive message for the party, um, not too much happened. uh, until a storm started to brew as they got closer to what was the green outcropping in the distance, and they were forced to seek refuge under a stone outcropping. The tarp was put up by the cart for the animals to be under to give the people some more room, and everybody is getting their beds ready for this. Seems like it's something that will last the night.
So is this campfire session like most of us are awake?
Most of you are still awake now. It's about 5 p.m. Not overly late, just the storm is making it seem almost completely dark.
Corn is still standing, staring out into the storm.
Okay.
I think Nora could probably offer to help Arcus with putting together dinner if he'd allow it.
I'll think about making dinner after I set up my sleeping place and I start to kind of set like a privacy little tent for myself
Okay.
and get on my way. And I'll probably switch into like my computer traveler's clothes or something like that.
All right. So Arcus is getting ready in the privacy of his tent, um, that has been set up in such a way to allow a little more room. Uh, Corn, you are standing out of the storm. Norik, you are waiting for Arcus to be ready in order to help cook.
I'm probably standing in front of the fireplace, not fireplace, campfire, waiting. I'm saying, probably kind of sitting there humming a little tune, like a little halfling tune to myself.
Okay. Jay, what are you doing? Jimmy Nate?
Not at all.
Uh, I asked what you were doing.
I'm probably just hanging around my cart.
Okay. All right. Arcus, you get changed into your traveler's clothes. Jay is leaning against the cart. Dork is over by the fire while Corin is staring out at the rain.
I roll up one of my sleeves and I do have gloves, right?
Yes, just a simple pair of leather gloves. Unless you're talking like cooking gloves, you could have like white cooking gloves, I guess.
More like my regular leather gloves.
Yeah,
I
those simple
keep
pair of leather
those
gloves.
on.
All right.
I'll put my apron on and grab all my stuff, and I'll head out to the campfire.
Alrighty. So Norik, you do now notice Arcus coming by with the cookware. Dante, by the way, is under the cart, as per usual when the cookware comes out.
Good. Arcus, you come up, you kind of hear him singing I don't know if he'd be singing it in Halfling. He probably would be at first, but then if he notices Arcus coming over, he'd probably swap from Halfling to Common, and then you realize it's kind of like a tale in song form. He's just singing it quietly to himself.
I'll just kind of listen as I put the stuff together, and I'm just gonna make basically a soup. And it's going to be kind of thicker with a little bit of meat. And I think I might have a couple vegetables. I'm not sure if I remember that correctly.
You should still have some vegetables. You have been using quite a lot because I think quite a few days have been soup.
Well, it's the easiest thing to make, pretty much. So I'm going to do it again here. It's raining. We need warm food.
Okay.
Happy to help if you'll let me, or if you need help. You can see I'll just kind of give a half smirk at you.
Do you know how to cut the vegetables?
Knife work? Sure.
Well, you can go ahead and do that while I get the meat ready.
It'll do that.
Alrighty. Arcus, for the quality of the food, you can go ahead and roll with advantage. Due to having a halfling helper.
Charisma and plus proficiency.
Yes.
All right, that's 24.
Alrighty. So together, Arcus and Norik create a very nice broth. There's vegetables cut up, it's very well seasoned, it's not too spicy or too anything else like that. Just a very wonderful meal to have in this situation.
I divvy out everybody's portion and I go sit by my tent.
Okay.
If there's a portion labeled out for Dante, I'll take his portion to him.
Okay.
Corn will walk over, get his, thank Arcus, go back to mouth.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Corn will walk over, get his portion, thank Arcus, and then return to where he was.
And you know it's not like you're at a cave, it's an outcropping above you. There's probably rounded out around, we'll say, 50 feet of opening.
He basically just wants to be in between the group and the opening.
Just wanted to let you know,
Yeah.
in case you thought you were standing at a small mouth, or a small cave mouth.
I'm thinking like mildly like Pride Rock where it just juts out.
Think Pride Rock, but a little shorter, but more of a fan.
Mouth just easier to describe.
Okay. You all eat your soup, Dante lapping up his graciously. The sound of rain thudding against the ground is constantly drumming in your ears. There is lightning flashes with thunder. Every once in a while, clapping behind. You notice it's starting to get closer and closer, meaning the storm is coming over you. Under the rock, you seem safe. Only the very edge seems to get wet, but anything that would need protected is under the tarp, so the animals stay dry, if not a little uncomfortable in their situation. The meal comes to an end, the dishes are collected, prestidigitation is cast in order to clean everything before it is put away, and you are left with the rest of your evening before turning in or taking any watches.
I'm sorry if I've been remiss, Arcris. I never did think to ask. Where did you learn to cook like this? It's always been wonderful.
Oh, it's been passed on through the family.
So you're used to cooking for an army, then, are you? He'll give that small smirk.
Well, when you have two younger siblings, and your parents always worked, and then you worked, but not as much, and you took care of the kids, you have to learn how to cook.
Yes, I see. I think seems like it's always the same way in most families. Eventually, one skill or another gets passed down.
I got a lot of tricks up my sleeve.
He'll kind of half glance at your axe, probably that's still on your hip, and look up at you like, I've noticed.
Actually, the axe isn't there.
Okay, never mind. Maybe where it used to be on your hip.
Oh, I can put her away now.
It's a her?
Kind of feel like it. Been told.
I don't hesitate to say it's a very unusual magic you wield. I'm not saying I haven't seen warlocks before, but it's definitely strange when I come across one.
You assume very well. But yes. Diza and I have a special relationship that I don't even know what's going on.
At his silence, he'll kind of wave his hand as like, and say, in my family's line of work, we come across all kinds, and no one kind or type is any different from another.
I think Hazen's going or pause.
What's going on?
Maybe not.
The video on the stream has an error, or it might just be my end.
I think it's just your end.
I'm not
Okay,
getting
because well, Hazen froze for me.
Oh.
Sorry.
I just saw Brad move, so I'm all right. Anyhow, let's not worry about it. We're good.
And the curtains go back over the fourth wall. Resu.
Squeeze.
It's fine.
Okay, what were you asking? Or saying?
Or are you just enjoying the banter?
Huh? Angie asked you, like, what was Norik asking?
I thought she was asking you what you were asking.
No. She was asking if you were enjoying what you had said to continue.
Oh, I basically waved off saying he'd say that, you know, his family sees all kinds and no one kind or type or any of that tends to be any different from the other. So he's trying to give him the impression that he doesn't particularly care what Arcris is or isn't.
You're interesting.
Well, that's at least putting it politely. Thank you.
I meant it as a compliment.
I'll actually give you a big grin at that. When you come from a family of well over, he'll start like like tickering at his fingers for a minute. It's like, I can never remember how many brothers and sisters now, but I think the extended family is well over 150 now.
Oh, I remember you guys are. Many of you.
Well, and that's just my family. That's not necessarily the house.
Oh, I know. Why do you think the beefy boy's standing out there?
Corin? Why he's standing? I would hope he just hopes to keep us abreast if something comes out of the storm, although why something would, I don't know. I mean, I have no reason to say, I mean, I'm not afraid of the storm, but even I have no reason to go out when the rain lashes this hard.
He may get sick.
If he gets sick, we'll handle it.
Don't you get tired of healing people day in and day out?
How do I put this politely? And say he'll sit on the ground, kind of cross-legged in front of Arcus for a minute. I don't mind healing people when it's not caused by something of their own fancy, if you will. I suppose is the best and politest way to put it. But there are those who will heal and not care as much as I do. I just prefer to see others well. That's the main point.
So what are you doing out here then?
And say, hearing that, he'll kind of give him a half ring, like put a hand up to the back of his neck, start scratching his. Well, you see, I'm definitely not like the rest of my family. I'm really not like the rest of the others in my house. So when I was called upon by the Numian for what I did, I decided to go study. And while books are all well and good, books are just books. There's something to be said about seeing what the books say themselves.
I don't really read that often. I just go. I just like to travel.
He's going to open his journal to the picture of they'd scribbled of Gario riding the back of the giant gazelle with the caption "unique" underneath.
I didn't realize you had a crafted drawing.
Journaling, not always easy to put into words everything you see. So I try my best. This is definitely not, I wouldn't say a bard would give me any praise for it, but it is what I see.
Well, you did better than I could.
I guess the big thing I get curious about is as I said, I'm definitely not like the others in my family. I'm a bit of an anomaly, and if you've seen the magic I do it or can do, it's a little backwards. I kind of lower his head and then kind of blush when he looks back up at you and like rub back his head. It's like I kind of tripped over how to do it by accident.
By accident.
Yes. Well, actually, would you like me to show you? There's this. It might be interesting. There's one spell I've been wanting to try. Doing it in reverse, I'm not entirely certain what the effect might be.
Sure.
I just had to make sure I knew what level spells he had. Hang on a minute. He's gonna say Snoi Otoam Melak, and it's basically calm emotions backwards.
Okay. And who is this being cast on?
Arcris.
Okay. Arcris, do you choose to make a save, or do you choose to allow your emotions to be calmed?
I'll just start to be calm.
Okay. So, as the spell washes over you, Arcris, you choose to allow it to enchant you. And Nark, you feel the effect of the spell wash over Arcris and take hold.
Huh. That is strange. Usually there's something visual happens, but maybe since it's not really a visual, And so he'll open his journal and he'll just kind of scribble. It's like, okay, calm emotions backwards. Doesn't produce a visual component. And then he'll look at Arcris and say, how do you feel?
Pretty calm. Why?
Nothing. That's just how the spell's supposed to work. To be completely honest, most times the spells, when I cast them, have a visual component, and this one didn't produce one. That's strange, but not too strange. Maybe if I did one with a more visual component. Let's see.
I feel like I'm starting my life over all over again. And I didn't even do it right the first time. Well, maybe not wrong, but yeah.
Trying to think how spiritual weapon works. I need to look it up. Okay, yeah, he'll say no peu looter ips, and it's spiritual weapon backwards.
All right. So as you cast the weapon, did we say it was the swarm, or did we say it was the one thing?
You could, up to you. I think the swarm would be funny.
Okay. A small swarm about 2 feet across of various medical supplies form. There are scalpels, there are scissors, there are even rolls of bandaging, and then one interesting thing floating amongst everything is a can opener.
Ah, well, that's most definitely unusual. It's usually supposed to produce one of those.
I don't think I want to know.
Basically, it's a spell to call an energy weapon for your use. The way it normally works is you're only able to call one, usually. This is quite a number of them. And actually, not most of them are weapons. This is really odd. He'll start journaling that also.
What do you plan on doing with it? Or all of it?
To do with it? What do you mean?
I mean, you are testing spells on me, so I'm assuming this and me are about to do some sort of contact that I don't want.
He'll look up at the spiritual weapon and he'll look at Arcus kind of sidelines like, you want me to attack you? That's not what I intended.
I don't think you're listening correctly, Norik. I didn't say I wanted to fight your spiritual weapon. I mean, if that's what you wanted, I would try. But I was wondering what the purpose of you casting the spell is if you cast the other one.
Oh, I see. Well, I know this one had a visual component. The other one I thought may have, it didn't. So this one's visual.
Sorry, you just wanted to see something happen.
Yes.
I think I'm starting to get how you work.
But the other thing, and this isn't, and so he'll get up. Actually, he'll get up off his feet, and he'll kind of like, if they stay in place, and he said they're swarming, so maybe they're running around in like do a loop around or something. As he looks at him, it's like, I didn't expect them to be that color either. That's, well, come to think of it, I didn't think they'd actually have a color.
I'm just thinking everything here is just a little backwards. Not just talking about you either.
Well, like I said, can't always learn something from books. And saying he'll snap and release the spell.
Alright, so the swarm of blades, medical supplies, and the one cooking utensil disappear.
There was a set of bandages in there, right? So that's not really a weapon. So how, if I'd have used that, how would that have worked? I mean, could I have used it to heal somebody? Oh my. He just gets this kind of really like bright-eyed look about him. It's like, this is so, I can't understand this, but this is amazing. He kind of gives you this like bright-eyed look with like a ridiculous smile. It's like, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I can't wait to see how you further your research later on.
So, and he'll kind of shake it off. He's like, start writing down what he had writing more down in his journal, and then he'll look up at you. It's like, so you're with the Merchants Guild, so it's fairly clear why you were at least at Philippe's, but why are you here? And you've been, I'm sure there are many other places you would rather be if you had a choice.
I mean, honestly, what you said is the reason.
As you two are conversing, very softly, the sound of flute music mixes in with the sound of the storm raging outside. And as it plays, it almost feels in tempo with it.
I want to see if I can like peek over my shoulder if I see Jay anywhere playing on it.
Oh, you still up against your cart, Jay?
Yep, still sitting on the front.
Okay. Yes, you see Jay sitting at the front of the cart playing his flute.
I think Norik would hearing that would pick up and just quietly the halfling song he was singing earlier again. And again, Arcus, as you listen to it, you get to hear like a lot of like halfling names and just kind of small, like either funny bits of story about their life or tales that they've told or places they've been, things like that.
I kind of listened to it for a little bit and then just kind of awkwardly get up for a little bit and start going towards in my tent.
You're gonna not answer Norik's question?
I thought it was interrupted by singing. Or did I mishear?
No, there. According to Jen Norik saying, I just didn't know if you were going to answer.
I thought you said that what Inksay is more or less the same reason why Norik was here, and you took that at face value.
No, I said the honestly the reasoning is what you said. There's no other reason I'm here because of being a merchant. I'm out on trying to find jobs to pull in money. This is my job. I'm kind of like a go-getter, go do things. Yeah.
And you enjoy doing that.
Yeah, as I always say, you go big or you go home, or die trying.
They die trying. He kind of gives like a half smirk and looks at us like, well, hopefully it never comes to that.
If it happens, it happens. Be one less bill to pay.
And a few more hearts broken, I would imagine, yes?
Just a few.
Inksay hears that and he just kind of gives a slow nod, and Inksay just a really small smile at that. And then I'd imagine at that point is when he would hear Jay playing.
All right. So this is where you said you sing your halfling tale in with the music in the storm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Arcris, do you still get up and go to your tent?
Yep.
All right. Corin, you hear the music and the singing in the background of the storm as well, and behind you. Do you continue to stand at your post?
Yep.
Alright. Chris, you go to your tent. Jay is playing his flute while Corin stands at the storm.
Am I able to talk to Disa at all?
If you summon her.
I'll summon Disa. Are you willing to talk?
You summon Diza, you don't get an answer, but you don't get a no.
Are you hungry?
No.
Well, you actually said something this time. How are you?
Exasperated.
We're still only on one word conversations.
You hear it kind of just grumble and think, and you get not good enough.
Oh, it very much is. I want to hear more of you because I want to do more for you.
Diza is going to insight you. So, are you honest about that, or are you?
I am honest, but at the same time, I'm really curious. I'm just really curious about Disa, and Disa is hardly talking to me.
Roll a persuasion roll, then. What'd you roll?
I had to switch the screen. I'm sorry.
No excuse.
21.
You hear a low grumble. Just a... What do you want?
Well, I mean, I now know your name. That's a plus. But I didn't get told by you. But at least now I don't have to just say, "Hey, my act."
And you introduce yourself.
I'm Arcus Barden. Nice to meet you.
You hear the just that kind of like
Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made.
So what do you want, Arcus Barden?
To know more about you.
No. What little desire sits thrown in your heart? What do you want?
I mean, there's a few things.
Far be it from a merchant to deal straight.
In the end, it's to provide, so it would probably be to get more money. If we're wanting to sound greedy about things.
Gold.
I assume that would appease you.
I like gold. You like gold.
Yes.
You are like-minded. You will do better than expected.
Oh, well, that's good to know. All right.
You've taken to my destructive capabilities quite well.
I'm kind of a go out kind of person. I go all out.
You like to destroy. You're good at it. To destroy
Yeah.
and to hold. Those are your sins, it seems.
Horde.
Can work wonders with you. I will mold you. And in return, well, you will help me, Arcus Barden.
Help you with what?
There is no response.
I assumed we're done talking, so. Joy! And I'll just put Disa on my hip for now.
Okay. Norik, Cora, or Jay, anything you would like to do?
I would imagine Nora could probably go over and sit next to Jay if he'd allow it. I can't remember, is he up on the box or the
He's
front
actually
box, or
in
is
the
he on the back?
driver's seat.
Front box then. Okay.
I don't know cart terminology.
Yeah,
Let's driver's
Jace.
seat, whatever.
Jay's just sitting there playing his. Nothing special.
How fast would you say like he's strumming it or playing it?
I don't strum my flute generally.
I thought you said lute, no F.
No, flute. That's what I said, flute music.
Canon Noric
But
thinks you strum a
No one
flute.
realized.
Oh, the jokes that could be made.
Eh,
Jay doesn't play lute.
Norik's the kind of person to go to the bar, ask the girl to come back and play with a skin loop.
Not yet.
I have to continue the tradition of over 150 kids.
Anyway, back to climbing up in the cart.
Yep.
Which would be humorous to see.
This whole time he's actually still kind of, he's not singing it loud, but he's just still singing it quietly. You can say the little ballad he was going off about, and it's like, I had a little dingy in my head earlier, and I can't remember how I ran it. It was so, it's kind of like when you do like a child's nursery rhyme, that kind of thing, somewhat. But it's like every sentence starts with someone's name. So like,
So, can I roll a history check to see if I can figure out her story
Her story, what?
as I play?
Sure.
19.
The story told is concurrent with Norik's family history. A few parts may be embellished here or there, just simply where the halflings have wrote their own history from what you know, but other than that, it does fit.
So, proud of your family, are you?
most of them, yes. You of yours.
Well, my family's fine.
You clipped that last word, sorry.
My family is fine. I grew up in a, well, they sent me away to grow up in a college, so
So you must miss them terribly then.
I visit them occasionally. You can say it's our family business.
It's your family business that keeps you from them then.
Duties, yeah. Everybody in the college, kind of has to do their time in the wilds after.
So I was right then. You are of a type of bard then. Like, 'cause I've only ever heard the bards that come through the temple call themselves, they call their place of learning colleges.
I mean, what else would you call law school?
Oh, I don't know. You think, say, some mages have schools, others have cloisters.
No, it's generally, we always refer to the law school as a college. But yes, I know how to play music.
Always welcome thing around any campfire, or at least the few I've been around. They've made things usually a little more enjoyable.
It can pass the time.
So why the flute of all of them? I mean, of the many, many, many instruments.
I kind of focused on woodwinds, specifically smaller instruments that allow easy. And too many people these days play the lute, so.
My sister was fond of the panpipes. She was okay with them. He'll give like a small blush at that. Maybe not that good.
They're convenient to carry.
He'll
I
look
can
at
play
him-
them.
He'll look at him with like a startled look, like, okay, that's a more polite way of putting it. It's like they'll point you like they are that.
I don't like to carry heavy things, so, I picked light and. So, how much do you know about your clan, if you.
You mean my family?
Yes. Especially your extended ones.
He'll give him a look, and he's honestly not entirely certain if you mean like his direct family or the house he works under. So he's kind of giving you a quizzical look.
Your extended family would be the main house. The not the part you're under. You're under a satellite house. So he's talking
Oh,
that's actually in the capital, the
House of Drasco.
yeah, House Drasco.
Not a whole lot to know, other than they're in business for healing people. I mean, I know most times they take money. That doesn't mean that all satellite houses act the same way.
I was just curious if your family had continued their beliefs or had their own.
What do you mean?
You could say your primary house has earned a bit of a reputation.
I would hope so. Question mark, very visible on the end of that sentence.
Well, they follow their gods for money.
Ah, I see. No, I'm very much I'm very much an oddball for following the Numian, if you understand my meaning. But no, the house itself is actually quite, maybe not always welcoming, but I mean, they don't decry any other gods as being outside their realm. I have sisters that are with the fertility goddess. I have some that are after the god of light. Say out of the middle of nowhere, the one who the Numian chooses out of the middle of nowhere. I'm considered the strange one.
Just interesting how families can be, isn't it?
Well, families. But I can say that's like, I guess I don't know as much about my family as what some others would say if they had their full genealogy in front of them. I can say my family does it more by oral tradition, hence the songs I was taught and sung. And I actually was just singing a small one from when I was little, a little bit ago.
So, what do you know of the others?
others in my family, my clan, the 150 that are in my immediate extended family?
Oh no, just the others that we're with right now.
He'll actually give him like a deadpan stare and look at and kind of point a finger up his nose, not at him, up his nose, but look at us like, no need for that spell if I say things now, correct?
I'm not using that spell right now.
He'll put his finger away. It'll give him kind of like a half smile. And it's like what they're willing to tell me. I think Segario is, well, how did he put it again? He said, Hazen, I'll be completely honest, I can't remember what Ryan told his, it was child of the, was it missing voice?
Of course, I don't have it written down at this moment. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was Child of the Whispering something. And I know he's going to yell at me when I go to ask him about it.
That's all right. We'll just assume I say the right one.
Yep.
They're primarily a contingent of monks sent to guard libraries and cloisters. I don't believe our cloister ever had one, but they usually stand guard and don't ask for payment. Why he's not at his post is an unusual thing. Arcris is a warlock of sorts. I can say to what degree I don't know. I particularly don't care. I can say, but he's no harm to. I don't think he's of harm to anybody at this point. And then there's you, the lawyer who likes to play the bard's flute. And then he kind of gestures over Corin, the ex-mercenary who now feels he has to prove himself, I suppose.
He seems to not enjoy the rain, yet stands in it.
I think he's doing his best to keep a lookout. Maybe that's what he was primarily for with his former group. I don't know. I haven't thought to ask. But it also seems that mentioning anything along that lines has caused him to be either sad or angry.
What do you feel of the axe that Arcris carries?
I think it's sentient. Why else would he talk to it?
Other people talk to things.
That thing, so he'll nod his head forward. It's like, that's true. And so he'll kind of tilt his head. It's like, I hadn't really thought of that. Maybe it isn't.
In fact, many people talk to things that aren't there. Sometimes people talk to things that they think are there.
I don't get that impression with Arcris, honestly, but I suppose it's possible.
It's an interesting group here.
It is. And I find having it be one of my first times out on my own, I'm not as frightened as I thought I would be of it.
I wonder if I was put here to do what I was told I was to do, or if I was put here to observe you all. I'm not really sure.
And so he'll look up at him and kind of give him a half smile. It's like, and have we been entertaining?
I don't know yet. I kind of am told to do what I'm told to do, and then I'm given very minimal instruction. But I find it interesting that I'm in a group of someone from a well-known house of halflings, someone of the Merchant Guild, someone that is no longer a part of their coaster, and someone that enjoys standing in the rain but hates it at the same time.
So, and say he'll turn and look at us like, so why have you decided to stay with us then if you're not certain of your, he'll kind of think about the next word carefully. Orders?
If I'm doing wrong, they'll let me know.
He'll kind of look askance at Jay, and then if he doesn't answer, he'll just kind of give like a slow nod. It's like, okay. He kind of gets.
Orders don't just come from gods and otherworldly patrons. Sometimes they come from literally your boss. Often slipped under the door.
He had asked who'd you work for, and you just, that's how you answered.
No, Jen, what happened was you went and didn't hit your button.
Apologies. He had asked, so then who do you work for?
I work for my college.
Hazen, would I be able to discern anything about the college he might work for?
You have yet to get a name from him.
And which college would that be? I have a feeling it could only be one of a few.
Hey, Hazen, we never really named the college.
I'm sending you something right now.
As to your
I don't
question,
sound.
sorry.
Pendle School for Prodigies.
Oh, I don't believe I've heard of that one yet. Huh. There must be quite a story behind that one. Which we will get to later.
To be honest, it's the same story for every college. The truth.
Did you hear what he said?
I heard it and then it clipped on the end.
I just said
The truth is,
Hmm. Well, I say I don't know if there's much else I can answer, but you can see he kind of waves his hand and it's like, if there are questions, you may, if you wish.
Have any theories as to why our monk has run away? Or even if he's run away.
Or even if he's what?
Or even if he's run away.
I get the feeling that he's used to being more by himself. Much like this one, how gesture to Corn, like much like that one probably is, but to perhaps a greater degree. I mean, how kind of tilt his head as he looks at Corn. It's like if he is former mercenary. Let's see. He has Flint. I don't know. Perhaps he was a scout. Inkstein he's used to being on guard. Or is it things? I don't know. Maybe it'd be better to ask. Hey, Corin.
Yes.
So this mercenary band you were for, were you a scout?
At times.
He looks over. He kind of pushes Jay a little on the shoulders, like, "Ha." Comes down to it once.
I was primarily been training to be a company leader.
What in God's name are you doing out in the rain when you're likely to get sick?
At that,
Come into the fire, warm up a bit. I don't think anything would come from hell or high water out in that weather.
At that, he looks down at the dry ground. The mostly dry ground he's standing on, and up at the outcrop he's standing under, and turns and goes, "I'm just near the edge. I'm not actually in the rain. It's fine." And then goes back to staring out into the storm.
What was the name of the company?
The Frost Blades. I guess you weren't there when we had that discussion.
No, he wasn't.
Norik and Jay, real quick, roll me a perception, please.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
$13.
Okay. Neither of you notice anything. So he told you the company was called the Frostblades.
Can I roll a history to see if I know of them?
You can.
Would this be considered related to
Related to what?
my field?
Of law?
Yes.
No. These are very much a Fiend's Halo operated group. They don't have any ties with any laws whatsoever. Really.
19.
You've heard of them. In the northern part of the continent, there is more of a Arctic area where they are one of the bigger groups that you go for if someone gets lost in the snow or if there is a beast preying on people going on a certain path. You know that many of which in that group are rangers. There is a couple druids of that area, and then the great many deal of fighters as well. It is a very martial, combat-oriented group. They're sent after problems.
Oh, so what are you doing this far south?
What was that, Nate?
What are you doing this far south?
After I left the group, I decided I needed to travel a bit. I'm looking for potential recruits for my own.
So are you still part of the Frostblights?
No. No, I left them a fair bit back.
I think I would like to insight that.
All right. Corin, are you going to try and hide anything about your past, or?
Not really.
Huh?
No, he's very blunt and open about it.
Mm.
He may not enjoy talking about it, but he will.
Basically, I believe what Jay's doing is seeing if this is much deeper than what you're just saying is, oh, I simply left.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
All right, so if you want him to not figure that out, it's deception. If you're okay with him figuring that out, then
Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Got to find just. That's not it. Well, let's see how I do with a +1.
what?
Not 20.
And what did you get, Jay?
Dirty 20.
So you have a 21, Brad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
As
need
far
to use the dice more often.
as far as you can tell, Jay, there is nothing really deeper to that. He just simply left the group.
Well, okay. I will be fair. He's simplifying it, but he's not hiding it. Does that make sense?
Right, but to some, simplifying would be considered hiding. That's what he's trying to figure out.
Okay.
So once you get your new group, are you going to create your own group or are you going to try to rejoin?
I plan to, start my own group. Run it a bit differently.
How so?
What was that, Nate?
He said, how so?
More care to detail when it comes to information.
A little louder.
More care to detail when it comes to information.
Information. Yes, I know this well. That ultimately is the thing that everybody wants.
And it can cost good people their lives.
It can cost the same as entire kingdoms, true.
Or it could save lives. You can say Nork will look at the both of them, and then he'll proceed to try to climb down out of Jay's wagon very carefully.
By the way, the wagon is quite warm because Dante has just taken to sleeping under it for the night, and his heat is radiating upwards. It's almost like having heated seats.
Thank you for being kind to Dante, by the way, Jay. I know he doesn't always deserve it. Say he'll climb down carefully on the wheel, and then he might tap Dante on the side to see if he wants to stay where he is or see if he wants to move out from underneath it.
Ultimately, animals are animals. Some like them, some don't.
All right. As you tap on Dante, Dante lifts his head, looks to you, kind of just gives you a lick across the nose as you uh, wake him up, and he gets up, crawls out from under the cart to go with you.
Actually, before he goes to sit up, I'll just kind of like put my hand on his shoulder. It's like, and I'll look at him. It's like, Do you want to stay under here, or would you prefer out here?
And I told you what I did.
So he comes out. Okay.
Mhm.
I'll make myself a place by the campfire like I usually do. Bedroll.
All right. All right. So you make your bedroll. Dante lays down by it.
I'm not going to sleep yet, but I'm still making it up.
Okay.
And see, so he's kind of like, think like, you know, he's got his back on Dante as like a backrest pillow, but he's still kind of like got it spread out so he can still look at both Jay and Corin while they're talking.
Gotcha.
So, mind telling me what you're looking for specifically?
What do you mean?
One doesn't stand out that close to the rain and the cold without looking for something specific.
Not much of a fan of the things that typically reside in storms.
Oh, there sounds like a story there. Maybe some information.
What was the last word?
Information.
Just say I lost a few good, well, a man and his sister in a heavy storm like this. Although it was more snow. And the thing that did it may be back.
What did it?
No clue. Never could get a good look at it.
Describe what you could.
Well, out on a scout with a group of apprentices. Suddenly we are stuck in the middle of a storm. Something decides it wants to play with us, starts leaving footprints for us to find, gashes in clothing, never quite touching the armor, just enough that you knew it was from a claw or blade, it wasn't just debris. And then one of them disappears, and then there's more gashes. A shout, but we can't find them. Another one disappears, a sibling. Cuts start showing up, and we have no idea where they're coming from. And I had no choice but to call retreat. And leave two kids that have been taking a big part in training them for the last 6 months, years, something like that. Known them since they were children. And to leave them out there, and then we never found them. And it just dogged us all the way back to camp. Once we finally managed to find our way back.
That's scarce information. I apologize.
And apparently, either it or something very like it decided to pay us a visit the other night and said that everything that I watch over will die. And I'll be last.
I mean, that statement's always true.
Yeah, but whenever it's whispering in your ear and you can't even touch the fucker, it makes you a little concerned.
How do you know it wasn't yourself whispering in your ear?
Because it dropped 2 scraps of their armor.
Do you have them?
He pats a pouch on his belt.
Maybe if I examine it, I can glean some information. Hayes and 15 on investigation to see if I could see what type of object was used to break them.
You look at it. It's a piece of leather armor with a metal band on it, kind of a signifying piece, as it has a few slashes on it to indicate ranking. You look it over. You move the leather. It was definitely cut by something sharp off of the armor, either sword or claw. It's not easy to tell because it's not quite razor sharp, but it's also a little too fine to look like ripping. You interact with the leather, move it, bend it, and when you bend it a certain way, it almost looks like as the fibers separate, it writes out something.
Can I read it?
Can you read Draconic?
Hold on, I have to check. I'll cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay. It's like the one action version?
The one action version.
Okay. You cast Comprehend Languages, and suddenly, as you start to move it, shift this, it still takes a little bit because it has to turn into the actual letters. But once you get it to a point where you twist it and it changes, it reads Lost toys always come back.
Well, this is Draconic, and it says lost toys always come back. Does that mean anything to you?
That
And
heals.
I'll roll a history.
Okay.
I apparently like the number 15 tonight.
It's a good number to like. All right. With a 15, it sounds like it's part of a very old nursery rhyme. Something that was told to children in all languages, but it's only part of it.
Sounds like a nursery rhyme.
Hazen,
May I do a history check, Hazen, after hearing that?
Sure. And what were you saying, Brad?
I sent you a message.
I also have a favorite number tonight, Dirty 20.
Neither of them would be able to. I'll tell you how to answer this one. Not out loud.
I'll do, I guess, a
Um,
history to see if I remember anything of relevance, like if anybody spoke about it or the origins of that.
okay.
nursery.
You could try. What was your history roll? You said dirty 20?
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely a nursery rhyme, but it's a very, very, very old one.
So no other parts of it come to mind?
No, not right now.
17.
Nobody you knew in that group spoke Draconic.
Well, I more so like I was trying to remember if anybody talked about that nursery rhyme or its origins.
Nope.
Not to me, but at the same time, I've ran into something like whatever did this before. Near the what were the name of those ruins? Biggest dam ruins in the north. Was it?
If you're speaking, I can barely hear you.
Yeah, you are a whisper.
Um, it doesn't bring anything to mind to me besides the nursery rhyme, but I've ran into something like whatever was in that storm before. Funny enough, a giant saved me. but it was what was the name of those ruins? Biggest damn ruins in the north. Death sentence to go near there. I was a stupid kid and let some little punks talk me into going to prove myself. Oh, what was the name of those? Meta, I don't know what the name of the ruins are.
We'll come up with one later, I'm sure.
Well, he didn't know the name of the ruins. The kids would just simply call it a proving ground. And he was never told.
Corn, do you want to take first watch or should I?
I'll take watch.
Wake me when you're done, then, please. Okay, and then Norik will kind of tuck himself in and wait for his watch. Also,
I was just saying real quick for Ryan, who is in the chat. He asks where Gario is right now. What I'm saying happened is Gario just got so sick of everybody. Gario stealthed into a corner under one of the rocks and has just been working with his new pets.
So, I will turn to Jay and ask him if he. You seem like a knowledgeable man. Like I said, the little shits told me it was a proving ground. I've never got the name of the ruins, but well, I know bards tell stories, and I was wondering if you'd heard any of that place.
Okay, 16 history to know if I know of their particular proving grounds, which I doubt I do.
No. The proving grounds he speaks of, even in the Frostblades, they don't talk about it because they stopped using it long ago because it was just too dangerous. So it's not a overly written about thing. There's knowledge of it, but that's about it. You have to be a part of the Frostblades to know what and where.
Sorry, not a member of the Frostblades. That's something they keep. They keep that in their own lore.
Might be able to reach out to a few of the old members, but I don't know how. We didn't part on the best terms.
I mean,
How? Go ahead.
parting rarely is on good terms.
Yeah, but I took it to a bit of an extreme whenever I left. He grabbed the bottom of his chain shirt and pulled it up so that you can see his left part of his chest. And there is a almost like frostbit symbol of a blade with a giant knot ridden, like just poorly healed scar across it.
Typical response, or was that your idea?
That was me that did that. After punching my commander in the face.
Well, all I can tell you is something did that. It may or may not be bladed, or it's either a dullish blade or a extremely sharp claw / teeth. Not really sure which.
No. I wonder if I can find those giants again. They knew to get away from it. Maybe they know what it was. At least the first time I came close to something like this, and maybe they'll point me in the right direction of what it is and why it's fixated on me. front watch. Unless you have more questions. I mean, he wants to go to bed. Feel free.
At that, Jay takes his leave and goes into his cart, locks the door, and goes to sleep.
All right. Arcris, as you have been listening, suddenly once the words "missing toys always come back" are said, Diza speaks in your head. Very softly, very quietly, you hear, "Little one, don't mourn what you lack. Missing toys always come back. Stiffen your lip and stand really tall, and it will come back through sun or through squall. Little one, your day won't stay bad. You'll be reunited with what you once had. Smile and shine, smile and shine."
Oh.
I don't think this is an all moment.
I start walking, not like run walking, but a little faster towards the tent to find a way to write this down.
Okay. And with that, we're going to take a 15-minute break. So we shall be back in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere. I need to post a message just to make sure. All right. And with that, we shall see you all in a little bit. back. So,
Hello.
Arcris, you have written down that nursery rhyme that you were given.
Did Jay say he was going to bed?
Yes.
I'll go to sleep for now.
Okay. So who is it that has watch?
Corn, and then whenever he's ready, Nork will take the next watch.
Okay. Corin, go ahead and roll me a perception check with disadvantage.
Ooh. 7.
Okay. As the storm rages on, you don't see anything out in the distance, except just a wall of falling water that melts into gray and eventually black as the sun finishes setting.
Okay.
Occasionally, across your dark vision, lightning will illuminate an area.
Okay.
And halfway through, the rain stops being as thick and as frequent. You can now see about 15 feet out as either the storm is passing or you are in the eye of the storm.
Okay.
It's nicer. It's a calm respite from the constant assault of water on the ground. More, a very lazy rainfall. Almost a,
Oh, and by the way, he's not waking up Norik.
okay. In that case, go ahead and make another perception check.
Oh god, is it still at disadvantage?
It is not.
That's a nat 20.
Okay. As
I'm loving this yellow die.
as the rain eventually wears itself out and the sky starts to clear from the thick clouds that hung overhead, you see the morning sun begin to rise. And with it, you feel your body start to admonish you for not taking the time to rest it as you take a level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Mark, Arcris, and Jay, you awaken with the start of the morning.
Nork will get up and stretch and then realize, and he'll look over and notice the sun's coming up, and he actually is he's gonna get mad. He's actually surprised he's gonna get mad. Corn, what the hell? There's no sense in you being tired. Oh, damn it. Damn me for being damn me for being a heavy sleeper. Oh. And he's actually kind of like groans as he gets up because he's a little sore from sleeping on the ground.
Arcus will poke his head out real quick and be like, I don't know why he didn't wake me up. He knows I can see in the dark. And just pop back out.
Honestly, Corn is surprised that after the story about how I don't like storms, I don't like what's in them, people fully expected him to be like, I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to trust someone else when I know there's something out there that says everybody I watch over is going to be murdered. So
But
I'm
I
going to go
mean-
take a beauty nap.
Meta over the table, I still fall asleep knowing there's animals around.
Corin,
Yeah.
2 points of relationship damage.
And the concept of you
Oh,
can twist
wow.
that thing, you can twist that prophecy on its head too, because we were all under your watch at that point. So what happens when you're not watching?
Yeah, because
Maybe
the
nothing.
thing is, the way he looks at it, to him, you guys are always under his watch. It is his duty to be the buffer.
Corin
Jay wakes up
already attacked.
looking. Jay looks up looking refreshed in style.
Whenever he sees Jay come out, he will turn to Jay and be like, "Okay, night's over. Do you mind if I hitch uh, Flint to your wagon and borrow that seat you off at Arcris, so I can meditate for while we travel?"
Sure. It doesn't buckle though.
Oh, that's fine. I
And he
have
hits
rope.
the side.
Bam!
At that, he will pull out some rations real quick, scarf them down. Now that he sees everybody awake, sit on the seat and literally pull out some rope and just tie himself to it with a slip knot so that he can yank it and hop off if need be.
Roll me a dexterity check.
Fuck! I'm an elf, but I'm a strong elf. I'm not.
Little Freya in the background writing your will and testament on the whiteboard.
8. I'm about to fall off this bitch.
I mean, it's like you started a knot. Maybe if you fall, it'll catch and tighten.
Just hope Flint decides not to walk over the guy who feeds him and brushes his.
Yeah. You put your helmet on and go, there, now I'll be safe if I fall out at first. And that's basically your contingency plan.
That works.
Arcris, are you going to cook a meal for the morning? Even though Corin is obviously checking out.
No, actually,
No meal? Okay.
no. I spent a little time thinking on the nursery rhyme, seeing if Diza will talk back to me at all in my mind again about it. Then I'll start picking up my stuff. Once my stuff's picked up, I'll put on all my armor.
Okay.
Well, might I add, all my stuff inside the tent, put on armor, then get out of the tent, take tent down.
I figured. Diza doesn't seem to respond about it.
Just as a side note, so I can have it in my notes, has Corin heard that nursery rhyme enough that he remembers it?
No, you just... That part makes you remember that there's a nursery rhyme, but you don't know the full nursery
Wonders of
rhyme.
being raised by a father and not a mother who would sing you nursery rhymes to sleep.
Seeing Arcris says he's preparing food for the day, and see Nork will just kind of tilt his head and give him a strange look, and then just kind of shrug and dig around his pack for like maybe some apples and cheese or something. Share some of it with Dante, and then prepare himself
Okay.
and Dante to leave.
Arcris, and Norik, you definitely both notice that when Norik goes rooting around for food and pulls it out, Dante's ears kind of go down. But he doesn't seem to pout any more than that as he graciously accepts the food. But you think that the Volcanda might have gotten spoiled on the cooking. Everything good? Looks like the stream ran a bit slow for a moment there.
We're good.
Mine's fine.
Okay.
Mine.
Nobody said anything either, so that was like, okay, great. I don't know if I'm having stream difficulties. Alright, so no meal is prepared. Norik feeds himself and Dante rations. Corin snacked on a few rations as well before definitely securing himself to the side of the cart.
I just want to point out he is meditating, not sleeping. So I only need
Alvin's
4
sleeping. Alright, Arcris and Jay, are you also going to have rations?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Jay is eating a fruit as he comes out again.
Okay.
Yep, I'm just have a piece of bread in my mouth.
Anime protagonist running with toast in your mouth.
Yep, just bread and
Yep.
Grabbing all
All right. Everybody gets situated and ready to head out.
And that includes Gario.
Yes.
Gonna check the map, use the compass to make sure we're all headed in the right direction.
All right. You can tell. Go ahead, Gordon.
I did make sure that Flint was hitched to the wagon.
You asked Jay to make sure.
I said, would it be okay for me to?
I'll allow it because I allowed the Arcris changing thing.
Okay.
Try it because I want to try to be fair. You, however, are still very haphazardly tied in. All right. So, do you all set out towards the green horizon? All right. I need Corin to first make a dexterity saving throw.
Let's see if the luck continues.
Yeah.
Not quite, but.
Can I roll an animal handling to give him advantage?
Yes, I will allow that.
I mean, that was an 18, even before advantage. Yeah, definitely the 18 because the other one was a 4.
Okay, you managed to stay in your seat for the duration of the 4 hours. Now I need a con check.
For me?
Yes, to make sure you can stay in your meditation.
Nat 20. I love this fucking die.
All right. Yes, you managed to not only stay in your seat and not bite any dust, you also make it through your meditation with little problem.
Oh, okay, you're taking a break. You are taking a break.
Sounds like you're going to give that dice a cigarette.
I mean, after that many nat 20s, yes.
All right. So, does anybody want to roll perception?
Am I
Yes.
awake?
I do.
All right. You may go ahead.
$16.
Okay.
I'm not going to roll because I'm focusing on driving the cart with a stupid additional animal.
Okay.
19.
Wouldn't it be 2 stupid additional animals?
Now the horse is fine.
Yeah. I didn't fall in the hole like the rest of us.
The horse listens to me, so I'm not worried about the horse.
Yep.
It's the animal and the horse, didn't you know?
With a 16 and a 19, as you head towards this green mass, it starts to solidify itself in the distance as a mass of large green crystals. And crystals sprouting out of the ground start to become common. At first, only the size of a pebble, maybe a stone that would fit the entirety of your palm. But as the hours go on, the stones start to grow larger and longer. Enough so that you could, Nora could easily take cover under any of these, and you guys, if you crouched enough, might be able to hide behind them as well.
Can I grab a sample?
You could try.
Dexterity?
Okay, are you going to try, say, pull one of the little ones out of the ground?
Yeah, I was going for a pebble-sized.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. A dexterity check will work.
$15 again.
Okay. You grab onto it and pull, and it doesn't seem to move. First, you kind of thrash your wrist around, and it snaps off. And you get a small piece about the size of your thumbnail.
Do I see him do that?
Yes.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah.
May I borrow that real quick?
Sure.
I'll just reach my hand out there.
Okay.
And I'll take my jeweler stuff out. And can I use detect magic and investigation?
Okay. With detect magic, you don't discover any trace of magic in the gem.
Now, for investigation, can I have advantage for having the jeweler's kit?
What are you trying to investigate about it?
Or maybe roll history if I know about it? Anything?
Just what kind of gem this is?
Figure out what it is.
You can roll history with advantage.
$17? Oh, wait. Squeeze me. Wrong thing. 19.
These don't seem familiar to you at all.
Can I ask Deeza in my mind if she knows?
Deeza doesn't give any response.
Oh, squeeze me. I asked Deeza to come out and I was like, hey, you sure there's not anything you know about this?
You summon Deeza, and you still get no response.
All right, fair enough. I actually just put her on my side.
Okay.
And yeah, if I don't know what it is, I'll just put my hand back up to Jay to hand it.
You do think it could become jewelry, or at least be shaped.
I do want it.
There is
Personally.
there is still stuff around. You could stop and collect if you want, and if everybody's okay with it.
Just let me know when I wake up.
Can we stop?
I mean, we're already stopped.
Did you actually stop? I didn't realize.
I can't I can't actually get a sample without getting off of my cart.
You don't have Mage Hand?
No, I mean, I guess technically, yeah, no, I don't have any way of doing that without getting off my.
I didn't realize. My
Alright.
bad.
And right about now, Corin is when you wake up.
Huh.
Yeah, I would like to grab some samples then.
Okay.
Seeing-
How much time are you willing to devote to it, or would you rather just make a roll?
I'll make a roll, please.
Okay. Dexterity roll. We'll say this is about a minute's worth of collecting.
Charisma.
Charisma
I use
isn't how
my
you pick
looks
stuff
to
off the
break
ground.
this stuff.
Yeah, no.
16.
You could always do option C and just try and blow it up. It's really
16.
the 16.
Wait. Can I go to one of the bigger crystals
What?
and look to these?
How big?
Well, I mean,
Trying not to get.
I want to be able to carry it because I don't have
Okay.
a way of carrying anything too heavy, and I am not strong at all.
If only we had a cart.
If only
I
we
want
had
my
someone who's
stuff.
swole as fuck.
I'm not putting my stuff in your stuff. I don't know you that well. Excuse you.
There's actually trunks along the side.
Maybe the bear would be nice enough to carry it.
Do I see like Arcris going around and like, no, ooh, maybe that one. Like,
I was trying to
check-
find one that I could possibly hit with Deeza. But I also don't want to hurt Deeza because I was going to ask for her permission first. I also figured she's not interested in this stuff because she didn't want to eat it.
Doesn't seem interested.
So she probably doesn't want me to use her to break it.
You don't know that.
Yes, break it. Break all the things.
I mean, I did the same thing to the cupboard, though. I'm just gonna find some a little bit bigger, not too big, and just break off a decent sized piece.
So, still, how big are you going? Okay, you can do that without using the axe.
Can I hop down?
No, like that thick.
Oh, that thick? Okay, how long?
It's hard to do it on this.
Are you
screen.
doing like dagger sized? Are you?
I mean, yeah, probably a little bigger than a dagger, maybe about the size.
Okay, yeah, you'll need to swing Giza to try and break that.
Sorry, it's just really hard to do size comparison when you can only go yay big.
Right.
A halfling walking stick size.
I rolled a 16 for it to hit.
Okay, you hit.
For the moment, I have put my shield down so I can use her two-handed. Is that all right?
I'll allow it.
I don't like how, like, okay with this he's being.
I'm a DM. I'm supposed to take you guys on a wonderful story.
11.
11 points of damage. Uh, it's not quite like butter. You hit it, you take a good chunk out of it, and then it just kind of snaps.
I then just pull out about like 10 gold to give to Diza.
And the axe eats it.
Can I hop down? Off the
Yes.
Okay.
I also ask her if it hurt.
You don't get any response.
Good to know.
So I want to find one about as long as my longsword.
Okay, it'll take a little bit of walking to get one about that size.
And I want to just try and rip it out of the ground.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
I'm also going to activate one of my runes.
Which one?
Frost. Because I haven't done this yet.
And this will allow you to.
It gives me a +2 to my strength.
Okay.
So that will take me up to a. Oh, yep, nope. That was a 10. I rolled a 3. So
You activate this rune. What is this rune on?
it's on my bracer.
Okay, so you activate it on the bracer. It glows bright white, and cold mist comes off of your arm and surges up your arm and across your shoulders as you feel yourself getting bulkier. You wrap your arms around this crystal. You give a mighty heave, and you just kind of.
Nope.
About it.
Okay. Nope. I want this. I'm gonna get swole.
Okay. You all watch as not only Corin begins to give off this
Jason has
cold mist.
frozen.
Can anybody else hear me?
Oh,
I
can
can
hear you.
now.
okay. What was that, Hazen?
I said, as this cold mist comes off of Corin, you all watch as another effect takes place. Corin starts to grow and grows taller and taller and taller, doubling his height and mass.
I'm going to try again because now I have advantage.
I'm like almost probably falling off the back of Dante as I'm looking like up at Corin now.
All right.
And I still had the strength rune activated because that last.
Yep.
Okay. That's a.
You do know what they say about the bigger they are, right?
Ooh, that's a 26.
Okay. You pull and pull at the gem, which now you can just hold in both hands, and you realize this isn't working. So you just uh take it and you pull to the side until finally something below the sand snaps and gives.
And I will count.
Yeah. By the way, being bigger and stepping on all these new crystals doesn't feel overly pleasant.
Yeah. I just am doing this basically for the ease of transport at this
Mm-hmm.
point. Do you think I could make?
Corn comes thundering over, still exuding this frost off of him.
Do you think I could make a sword out of this? Others think that'd be cool. Pun intended.
Yet I'm the weird one.
I mean, you can have whatever's left.
I got what I needed. I only need to make some jewelry, not a whatever.
Okay. Hey, Jay? Do you want me to strap this to Flint, or would you mind if I put it on the wagon?
How big is it?
It's about 5 feet long.
Just tie it on the side using the ties.
I would take the tarp and wrap this in it first, so it's just this, not this giant green crystal hanging off the side, because that is just asking to be stolen. Strap it to the side, and then I'll shrink down and deactivate the rune and climb back in the seat.
Okay. So you watch Corrin just back down to his normal height, get back in the seat like nothing ever happened.
And I will start to meditate again. So I'm trying for a second long rest so I can get my frost rune back.
You don't feel tired. You're an elf. You only need to trance
I know.
4
Can I
out
look
of
at the
20 hours.
Can I look at the rune and see if it's still glowing, or has it faded?
You said you deactivated?
Yes.
Then it has been used up. How many times do you get it per?
Long rest. Once. That's why I was debating on
Then
taking
yes.
a 4-hour meditation.
It is used up. You can't just go to sleep again so easily.
Okay, I guess I'll just relax in the seat and hope that counts as a long rest. Because I'm not doing anything besides.
You could get a short rest out of it.
Yeah, that doesn't count. Oh well. By the way,
Does
if you guys are
Nora-
paying attention, you do. Well, actually, Hazen, would you say they need to roll perception?
For what, the runes?
Yeah.
If you put them in sneaky places on the armor, yes. If not, no.
Yeah, there's one on each bracer.
Then no. They do see the runes.
So you notice there's a second lightly glowing rune on his other arm. The one where he normally has a shield.
Well,
so what's
one
the
would
other one do?
one would have to be on the shield. You can only put one rune on a thing.
Okay.
Our armor is considered one piece.
Okay, then yeah, I'm on his shield. So actually, you probably wouldn't be able to see that one right now because that's probably on his back.
Even when you had your back turned to us?
Well, you'd see it then, yeah.
Seeing this like forest of green crystals, would Nork have learned anything about this area?
Nothing you've ever heard of.
And out of all the books I've read, nothing.
Correct.
I think he'd get off of Dante just for a minute, just to go over and like tap on one of them with something metal, just to see like what sound it makes. And beyond that, I don't think he'd really do anything more with it.
Ting.
And so just he'll walk back to Dante, but he's just kind of keeping his eye on that exact one that he like just went tink to, just to see what happens. And so it's like, okay, maybe whatever this is a delay reaction, who knows.
You get back to Dante, keeping your eye on the certain crystal you hit. It doesn't seem to do anything. It doesn't seem to have held the frequency for long.
Like say, but then he looks down at that one and he realizes there are like so many of them. It's like, oh, okay. Is everybody good?
Fantastic.
I'm fine.
Yep.
Should we go on then?
Yes.
Hearing that, Nork will lead with the map again.
Okay. So you continue on, and it takes you towards the overgrowth of crystals. The path is a little difficult to navigate as some of the crystals grow large enough that the cart has to move around them in order to not take any damage, but it is able to still go through. After about an hour of traveling, you get to a point where you're getting to the larger crystals that make up the outer wall of this giant growth of jewels. You can still make your way in between them. You're just starting to get to the ones that are the size of trees.
Do they seem to be, as a collective, do they seem to be making a particular shape or not?
They seem to be mostly obelisk shaped in the way they grow out from the ground.
Are they going?
Sometimes it seems like they're growing out from one point and blossoming outwards. Other times it seems like it's a lone spire or two together.
So,
Okay.
are they going straight up, or are they like growing out and pointing in all directions, or towards one direction?
It's all directions.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Mm-hmm. As you look at this area and at the new terrain, is there anything anyone would like to do?
Perception checks.
Okay, I'll have a perception check.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
Mine was a 17.
All right.
19.
Okay. Jay, we need a 16 or a 20.
Jay did not roll.
Oh, he's not.
He is not paying attention.
Okay. Besides the different crystals, you don't notice anything besides crystals in the ground. You do notice a path up ahead, and it seems to just stop at a green wall from where you are.
I want to look down at the map and see if there's a good way around it.
There doesn't seem to be any real detail about it. It's just a green spot on the map.
Is there anything around it, like any people, blah, whatever? Is it just rock?
You don't hear any evidence of hear or see any evidence of life. Who got the 19? Nark, you do hear something interesting though. It almost sounds like water crashing.
Am I able to determine what direction that sound's coming from?
From the middle.
Like in front of me where the wall is, but somewhere in
Like-
the middle?
From in the middle of the cluster of crystals.
I could try to break it.
Well, no,
Does anybody else hear water running? Like a stream or something? Anybody else hearing that?
Are we to this wall now?
Nobody has said they were moving forward yet, so
I'll walk up to it.
okay, as you start to walk forward, what looks like a wall turns out to just be a large crystal that grew out sideways. This crystal is not only long enough where you can't see the point clearly, since it is obelisk shaped, where it basically stops off. It's also wide enough that possibly 3 carts could fit abreast.
So, how tall is it from where I am to the top of this?
It looks like it goes for about 250 feet or so. And as you look, it looks like there's another crystal that crosses from the other direction.
That is a big ass rock. Hey guys, it's one big crystal that's going that way. And that way. Like it's horizontal, not vertical.
Is it the way we need to go?
According to the compass.
I can try to make a
Yes.
hole through it.
I mean, it looks like it's okay. Have these pretty standard been like basically even around? Like it's not like oh this thing.
There's,
it's a
there's
half
some
circle.
there's some ratio uniformity.
It's like
If that makes sense.
250 feet tall. So I mean, going off what the rest of them are, it's probably about that wide. So I mean, we might have to go around.
It's not quite that wide. Like I said, it's only wide enough for about 3 carts where it is.
Okay. I mean, it looks like it's about as wide as 3 carts. So I mean, how long do you think it'd take you to get through that?
Just depends if it actually is solid or not.
With that said, I would like to do a closer perception, like looking for any, like just the lines that look like a gap further down, or anything that looks like it may be a doorway.
So go ahead and roll.
17 again.
Okay. As you look at this crystal, like I said, it goes from the ground and seems to go upwards across what looks to be some sort of opening, and there's another crystal that seems to meet it towards the top. It seems to definitely be solid. There doesn't seem to be anything built out of it.
Can I knock?
As you get closer to inspect, you suddenly hear that moving water sound that Nora heard. And you decide to move a bit forward. Do you actually step onto the crystal?
Can I poke it with my sword first?
Yes. Tink.
Tink. I will gently put my foot on it, being ready to throw myself backwards.
Okay. It seems to hold that weight so far.
Okay. I will slowly put another foot forward.
Okay. At this point, you can see over the edge, and you see the source of the water sound, a giant whirlpool, in what it seems to be a giant crystal bowl.
Hey guys, it looks like a giant toilet. Flushing.
Do toilets actually exist in this round?
Hold on, rolling. Hold on, rolling for plumbing.
He's from the far north. He's never seen a whirlpool.
Norik and Jay would have seen indoor plumbing. Corin and Arcris would not have.
Okay. Have I seen like a sinkhole?
Actually, no, Arcris would have, but only at certain times in the guild hall.
Okay.
What do you mean certain time?
Because the guild hall was the only place that had enough money to get indoor plumbing like that.
I thought you meant there was just designated times I could go and see the special bath.
You've done well.
I was so
You have done well in your job. You get to use the special bathroom.
You
Let's
get
see.
executive bathroom privileges,
Yep.
Chris.
I feel like that should be canon.
There's actually a water
Presents.
elemental that is trained to be a duvet.
Oh, this is great.
Wrong word, but we get what you
Or
meant.
bidet, yeah. I pulled the Travis Willingham thing. Duvet, good
A
day,
water
bidet.
elemental is a blanket. We're making that my next character. That'd be funny.
The
Ooh,
bidet
snow
water
elemental.
elemental.
No, make it a snow elemental, so there's like a blanket of snow. Ooh, I like this idea.
Make
Anyway,
it a snow elemental. Do a ice dragon sorcerer and just be Frosty the Snowman. Put out for vengeance.
So Jack Frost.
So, have I seen like a sinkhole? Or, like,
You had to have seen a
Anything?
drain.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no plumbing.
right, but they still made basins that would drain into buckets.
Okay, guys, it looks like a giant drain.
Oh, is that where the
water
water sound's coming
swirling.
from?
Yeah. Can I gently scuff one of my feet to see how slick this crystal is?
Sure.
Again, ready to throw myself back, but I'm just lightly like moving my foot forward and backwards, trying to test my footing.
There definitely has been moisture collected on it.
I'm going to slowly step back.
Okay.
There we go. It's slick as hell.
I didn't say slick as hell. I said there was moisture on it.
There's moisture on it, so watch your footing. But yeah, there's a giant bowl. Did I see anything in the bowl?
You didn't do a perception check on it?
I will retrace my steps very carefully and look in the hole.
Okay.
Because if I fall, fuck it.
Alright.
Oh, you froze, Hazen.
I said, alright.
That's it. 12.
A 12? You don't notice anything special.
Looks like it's just a big drain. Hey, Nork, come here. I'm holding out an arm. Hey guys, let's make a daisy
Are you
chain and
sure
jump in
that's
the
a
hole.
good idea?
The Legend of Korra jumping in holes with Nori.
Technically, it's been Nork has
not
been
even
going
in a
down
dirty
holes than
way.
deal with water.
Yeah, it's just, let's see. Arcris, Korra, and Norik so far have a penchant for throwing themselves down holes.
You think it'd be the bard that had that problem?
Oh.
Flips and falls into the whirlpool.
I need to make a roll for this because I'm honestly not sure which way he'd go. Give me a minute.
All the jokes to be made. I'll leave them alone.
He'll take Corin's hand up. What is it?
I'm lifting Norik because Norik has a bad habit of slipping, and just kind of holding him under the arms at this point, and like,
What kind of hold is this on your halfling?
No, he's doing
The
Simba.
football hold.
under the arms, like a toddler.
So you're Simba. You're gonna Simba.
Do you notice anything?
Fabric of life.
And this way, if
Hopefully.
I start to fall, I can just go yeet and throw him backwards.
We hope.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, it's a big toilet.
Hold on. I want to ask everybody here to make sure they had the same mental image I did. If he's going to hold Norik over the water and starts to slip and yeet backwards, does that not mean he's just going to yeet Norik over his head off the other side of the crystal into the water?
I meant more
No.
so towards the group.
It's just like he said, holding over the water. You have to be over the water one direction. There's a possibility.
Yeah, no, like
Can also
throw
mean he eats him
Norik
backwards and
back.
actually falls on his butt and his feet go toward the water.
All right, so Cor-
Physics, don't you love it?
Karn, you're going to hold Norik over.
Just up more than anything, like to where he can get a view.
Okay, Norik, you are held aloft.
Oh, it's like a giant toilet. Oh, God. There's an obvious question needs to ask Brad, but that's okay.
Do I want to know what
Ballpark.
this toilet you speak of is? Sounds like a torture device.
I'm saying,
Is there anything like a warm towelette?
You might use one after.
think of it as a Put me
Draining
down. I think
outhouse?
better on my feet.
Yeah, no, I'm not putting you down on this. You have a bad habit of falling in holes. I jump in them. You fall.
Norik, the person who just said that is currently the only thing holding you safe. I jump in holes. And you notice, in the middle of this whirlpool, there just happens to be this warm, inviting void.
I don't think so. He looks over at Corin like, I don't think either of us should be up here.
Well, no one else was walking out here. But you also tend to spot things that I don't. Do you see anything that I didn't?
Hold on, let me look with my cleric vision.
That's literally what I'm thinking about starting to do. Like from now on. Well, I failed the perception check. Dork, come here!
This is my perception check.
I see a bunch of water swirling into a hole that goes God's nowhere. No, I don't want to be up here. I don't think you should be up here either.
But the thing is, I'm the one that's holding you. You can't retreat.
You say this for real?
Yes. And if you blast me, we both go in the water.
Welcome to Corin Asks Nark to drink the Kool-Aid.
Do we hear this?
Yeah, he didn't go far. So you all
Jay?
notice that Corin is playing with the fact that Norik's life is in his hands, literally.
He'll look down at him and give him a very kind of like mean half grin. It's like, you're holding the one person that can heal any of us over the edge of what amounts to a watery death, and you want to stay up here with me. I suggest we both get down before your brain shrinks anymore.
Just take a look. I mean, I would
I've
literally.
looked. There is nothing. There is a water going into a hole, and you want me to say there are logs floating in it? I'd see a few logs, but there is nothing else.
Okay, the compass is pointing us here. There must be a reason why it's doing that, and I'm just not seeing it.
Or maybe we haven't gotten there yet, which I'm assuming is the case, Hazen.
You have the map. That this is absolutely just along the way.
We
Well,
aren't even
okay,
there
did
yet.
I
This
know
is an
this beforehand?
obstacle.
'Cause if
We're
I
not
knew this
there yet.
beforehand,
This is
none
an
of this would have
obstacle.
happened.
Corin, my cleric says we're here. No, we're just halfway through. It's just like, we are here. Cleric, go.
Claire,
We'll do
I
that.
choose you.
The divine know our purpose. I just help them along that way.
Jay, I think he finally lost it.
I know what kind of barbarian I want to play.
I turn and I just walk Nork under one arm.
He's like visibly sweating. It's like, and thinking to himself, it's like, I have to deal with this.
As you turn around, Corin, you notice a very pissed Dante waiting at the edge of the bridge.
I'm holding Norik out like, here you go. Here you
Right.
go.
But you can very much guess the
you.
Volcanda's look was, there will not, if you do anything, there will not be one motherfucker dead on that bridge.
We're under it.
You hand over Norik, and Dante, like, very gently takes a paw, like, to Norik, bringing Norik almost under him on the ground, and he doesn't let you back on solid ground.
Dante, I appreciate it, but my feet hurt. I want my feet down.
No, you are on the ground. In fact, Dante's almost making you sit.
He probably would after that.
Yeah. So, Dante
Can I turn and look back?
putting a paw.
Does this just lead straight across?
It might if you cross onto the other crystal that's going down.
Hey, Norik, is the compass pointing that way?
He'll consult the map and the compass. Is that
Yes.
yes or no? that way, but just as easy we could go around the long way. No one said we can't. And say you actually hear there's like a little bit of shaking in his voice.
That takes more time. We don't have much rations and we haven't seen much animals.
He peeks over his shoulder, and I am what?
Sitting on the ground? I mean, I don't consider you food, Norik. I don't consider your bear food either.
I take it the mercenaries never actually took you to a proper temple for healing and sustenance, did they?
Not really, no. It was more so, here's a roll of cloth, wrap it up, and stick it in the cold stream. You'll be fine. My, button, Jen. Push the button.
I was. Did it not come across? I'm sorry.
Push the big red button, Jen. Push it. End it all.
He had said between Arcus and himself, he didn't think the group would be without food or water for long.
How is Arcus feeding us? Well, I mean, besides cooking. Like,
A cook usually knows how to ration. That's what he's going at. He's trying to.
Yes, and Arcus has absolutely been doing that.
Yeah. But we have 3 weeks there, I think it was.
Yep.
How far in are we so far, Hazen? Just curious. Like a week and a half?
We'll say about week in a couple days.
Honestly, I say we just go across.
This bridge is big enough for the cart to get across, Hazen?
Oh yeah.
How sturdy does this bridge look?
It looks quite sturdy.
You can always inside the bridge. Are you gonna fall out from under us?
Gesture that's not allowed on stream.
It's a free action to insult.
Yeah, really.
I feel like I'm missing something. Hold on.
Good. Let's see.
Oh wait, I can't pull up the past comments. Damn.
Actually, come to think of it, Hazen, didn't think to ask. What's this bridge made of?
The crystal.
Yes.
I
It
didn't
is
hear that part. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a large obelisk-shaped crystal, and it crosses with another one going from the what seems to be the opposite side, as far as you know.
And from the top of that bridge to the water is how far?
You said the top of the bridge?
No, like we're gonna be walking on the bridge. So from the bridge to the water is how far?
Well, when it starts, it's about 50 feet above the whirlpool. When you get to the top where it crosses, you're about 300 feet above the whirlpool. No, sorry.
Oof.
I'm trying to think distance-wise how I could work that. Yeah, we'll say about 300 feet. That'll work. 300 feet above the whirlpool.
Ooh.
You also got to remember, whirlpool goes down, bridge goes up.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
Yeah, so it's...
Basic physics I can still remember. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just mapping it out.
Slide down the
Sure
other
it
one.
makes
It'll
sense.
save even more time. That was a joke. I'm not actually saying that in game.
Yeah, sure you're not.
He's not dumb. He's just ready.
He's not dumb. You know, I could always just take you with me, bringer of life, and the only thing that has revived me 3 times now.
I think there was one where someone else.
No, Arcus revived Norik once.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But
He's gonna get out from under Dante and do his little usual morning prayer because he forgot to do it before they left.
Okay.
you know,
And
after that life or death situation, I need to pray to my death god.
he kind of gives a huff and looks over at Corn and then just kind of gives a huff and then goes up with his quarterstaff and he'll just like start tapping along the crystal just as far as his staff will let him reach
Okay.
out in front of him for,
What's he use
for
exactly?
maybe a couple steps.
Okay. Like I said, this crystal is slick, so as long as you're moving carefully yet slowly, you should be okay.
You guys want to cross or go around?
I'd prefer to go around. This is not ideal. But that is just my opinion. I will do what I can if others disagree.
As it does tap along the ground, it does still seem solid with the quarterstaff.
Corn's still standing there waiting for Jay and Arcris to respond.
Can the cart even go across it?
There's room.
There should be enough that we could have two carts pass if we had to, but you see, he'll kind of like back off the crystal and then just kind of like tilt his head to look at the distance. Like, even I don't think I could survive a fall like that if there was an issue.
You technically didn't survive the last one.
I mean, we
He's
can
not
get off,
arguing that
climb
point.
on the cart. Go very slowly.
Then I will move slowly.
All right, I guess we're going.
I didn't hear what Nate said.
He said, "I guess we will move slowly."
That way we don't. If we all go together.
So about go the easy way. All right.
I'm starting to try to figure out how I can make my NPCs believe that Corn is a good leader. If we all go, we all go together. I make sure that my men make it back all in one piece. Yeah, okay.
I mean, if I make it back, they make it back. If I don't,
If I don't, they shouldn't. Oh boy. All right. So
if I don't, there's no one to say that it was my fault.
Oh, there's plenty of fault that'll come your way in one life or the other, I'm sure. At this point.
Someone's got to be the designated trouble magnet, okay?
Which characters have you played that aren't?
Exactly. Someone's got to be it. I just am unnaturally good at it. Because I'm Mr. I want to poke it with a stick.
No argument there. I just wish you weren't sometime. Anyhow, not the point. I think Nora could take up the rear just to make sure everybody at least has a good footing and he can make sure that if something does happen, maybe he can get to them quickly.
all right. So everybody takes to the crystal and starts moving slowly. The animals seem a little trepidatious about it, but they move. There doesn't seem to be a lot of problem. Every once in a while, the cart might wiggle ever so slightly, but it still seems to be under control. Having Flint behind actually does help because he knows to correct the wagon. He'll walk up and just kind of nudge it a little. And so,
As
go ahead.
I didn't think about this until a little bit ago, but I want to do guidance on the three of them before they had started crossing.
Okay. Can you only do it on 3 people? Is there anything else you want to give it to?
Do we have water walking yet?
I would not believe so.
Oh, apologies. It is one willing creature, but it is a cantrip, so I guess it can.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Bless.
But it's a concentration thing, so I can only do it one at a time. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you were thinking of the spell Bless.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably you're right. So let's say it's the bless instead. I'm sorry.
Does
Okay.
it say creature? Because if not, put it on the
Bless
card.
up to 3 creatures of your choice within range.
So up to 3. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Corrin, Jay, and Arcris. I believe it's now whenever you do an ability check or make a saving throw, you get to add 1d4 to the rolls. As long as Nora.
Attack roll or saving throw. But yes,
Oh, attack roll or saving throw. I thought it was a.
what it says.
Never mind. All right, so
Oh, I wish there was one that was an ability check.
it's called being a bard.
Yeah.
Um. All right. So all of you are blessed by the life cleric, and you continue along the crystal. And so far, there doesn't seem to be any problems or concerns. You're starting to get to the top of it, and you can see that the other crystal does indeed extend it down to another path across the way. And you're starting to get tall enough where you're seeing over the other crystals that make up the outside, and could possibly be one of the highest points for a while around.
Can I do a perception check?
Absolutely.
12.
I would like
You,
perception as well.
you notice the savannah around, you notice the desert from whence you came. You see the crystals below. Uh, as you look around at how the crystals are formed and you in the middle, the crystal kind of has a shape that you could form in your head. And it almost looks like a lotus flower.
Okay.
Of course, very roughly done, given that it's made out of tiny obelisks instead of large petal-shaped crystals.
Right. Anything else then?
Nothing of significance.
Okay, I'll just keep an eye out then.
All right. Anything else anybody would like to do?
I was going to perception.
Get across this thing as fast as we can.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting choice of words.
I was
Get.
going
Oh, I
to
should
go
say, get off
perception.
this thing as fast as we can. No, never mind.
Even better. Anyway, Brad, what were you saying as your teammate was cursing you?
Dirty 20 perception.
You notice about the same thing.
Does the lotus, like, can I do a history to see if that has any meaning to me?
You could try.
Just
Not
a
exactly
bit.
from a land of flowers.
True, I'm just wondering if I've heard any stories about anything to do with lotus.
I also didn't share that unless he saw it himself.
He rolled perception himself.
Sorry, I'm still having a hard time hearing him.
It's all good.
Where's a D4?
You can't roll the d4 for ability checks. I lied. It was attack roll.
Oh,
Throws.
okay. Sorry.
I think it was.
Oh no!
ability
Did
checks.
it?
I don't think it was saving throws.
Does bless do?
Attack roll or saving throw.
Yeah, no. So it doesn't count.
Yeah. So 16.
Okay. No, not really.
No. Why does it look like a flower? Like, that's strange that it all grew in a pattern.
Nork's not paying any attention to anything other than keeping his feet on the path and hoping everybody else is doing the same.
Dante is behind you, Norik. And seems to be just staying right behind you. Alright, you all reach the point where the crystals cross. And you notice that there isn't exactly a flat area to cross over, it is very much an X, meaning the cart is going to need a little help mounting it.
I can help with that.
Okay. You have a choice. You can make an athletics check straight, and then make a dexterity saving throw, or you can make an athletics check with disadvantage in order to try and do it safely.
What do I have to do if I enlarged again?
You would have to take a long rest.
That's fine. But would it change that at all?
You
I'm now as big as the cart.
maybe if as long as you can hold on, you can just pick it up and move it. Maybe, but it would be like a pick up over the shoulder. It's not a one-handed move, so there's a chance you could fall cart and all.
I will look at Jay and say, okay, there are two ways I can help. I can either stay normal size and help, or I could get big and just pick up the cart and sit it down.
Just do it normal sized.
Okay. I'll
Careful with
disadvantage.
careful with Flint.
Athletics 19.
Okay. Was that disadvantage or was that straight?
That's disadvantage.
Okay. So you managed to get the cart across with a little bit of struggle, but nothing life-threatening. And now begins the descent down. I need... Who is all on their feet? Alright. I need those who are on their feet to make acrobatics checks.
Oh, goody.
Let's see, I need to make one for Dante.
Don't fail me now.
With the bless, I do believe that can be added to.
No.
An ability score?
Ah, shit, never mind.
No, this is an
sorry.
ability check. Okay. Jay's horses seem fine. Flint seems fine. What is everybody's acrobatics check?
I had a 17.
Okay.
Yellow die has not, as far as I know, failed me now.
Mark?
Good die.
8.
Back your rest.
Arcris?
9.
Okay. Arcris, Norik, and Dante, however, as they cross over and start to move down, slip.
Do I have a
And-
reaction to this?
No. And they start to slide down.
Are they just sliding down, like over the edge? Or are they sliding straight down towards?
So far, it's straight. We shall see how things go. As
How fast are they sliding?
hold on, let them have their reaction. So, Norik and Arcris, what do you want to do? Besides the wonderful halfling curses Norik has to be streaming.
Probably.
I'm going to call out to Diza because I have nothing for the situation,
Okay.
hoping that she can help me and to
Yeah.
try to latch onto this gem.
Alright, the axe appears in your hand. Go ahead and swing.
Am I doing the damage or am I doing the tit?
You're doing to hit.
M9.
You glance, unfortunately, as the edge goes towards the gem. And the flat of the blade just ping off the side of the gem.
Fuck. And
Alright.
I go.
What do you mean go?
I'm slipping. I have nothing.
Take the go action.
Okay, question. Are we sliding along the long? You said we're sliding straight along the flat
Straight-ish.
edge, but we're not over. We're not slipped over the edge.
Not yet.
Oh God, help me.
I mean, that's kind of what your class is.
Yeah. I think that's probably what he'd do. Like in a panic, he'd probably cry out to the Nuhian halfling. Not so much cursing Cora. It's like, please, you've set me on this journey. Is it truly my time? He's like freaking out, so slightly probably, and I'm hoping that maybe he's able to pull his mace and he's trying to like try to have it hit hard enough that they could grab, because he does not have that magic climbing rope anymore.
Oh, that's a shame. That is Agario, isn't it?
Yes.
All right, go ahead, roll to hit.
$18 to hit.
Okay. Roll damage. See if you do enough.
5 points.
You take your mace out, you hit the gem and crack it, but none of the flanges seem to stick in the crack. Unfortunately.
Would I be able to quickly reach up with my other hand and try like dig my fingers into the crack?
I didn't give Angie a second option, so we're going to wait.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. Corin or Jay, is there anything you want to try? Actually, wait, I have to have Dante try something.
I was about to say, isn't Jay safe?
Oh, you guys are safe. I was just curious if you're reacting. Okay. So, interesting.
I'm really starting to hate that word.
So Dante, kind of, as soon as Dante started going, Dante started spinning. And one of Dante's front paws swipes Corin, or no, sorry, Norik in the side, and slides Corin, or Norik, damn it, slides Norik into Arcris. Both collide, but because of Norik's size, it doesn't really change the path at all. In fact, you lose speed for a moment.
How fast are they moving?
Before they were moving at 60 feet per round, but now they've slowed down a bit. They're already 30 feet away.
Okay. I'm going to go after them. And I'm going to bonus action, or action dash, to get ahead of them.
You can't really action dash with a free slide like that.
Well, I'm not sliding. I'm.
To dash after them, you're basically going to have to do a save in order to not slide, and it's a acrobatics at disadvantage.
Did I save?
If you're going to start sprinting down, you didn't save.
No, I mean, how, if it, I save.
Let's see, you're running down a slick incline.
Yeah.
Slick, almost featureless incline.
So 30 feet will get me to them?
It'll start you. You won't actually make it to them.
Well, you said they were only 30 feet away.
Right. If you can sprint 30 feet, yes, you'll make it to them.
Okay, let me ask you this. If I enlarge, does my movement speed increase?
Can you not enlarge until you take another long rest?
Nope, I get 2.
You told me you only got 1 per long rest.
No, I get the rune once per long rest.
Ah, okay.
The Giant's Might, I get twice.
Alright.
So if I enlarge, can I get to them?
You can try. You still, once again, have to make that acrobatics check.
Would it be a disadvantage now?
If you're still sprinting. Basically, if you're not going anything other than half speed, if you go regular speed, you make the save at the DC it is to slip. If you sprint, it's disadvantage.
Okay. I'll go normal speed.
Okay, so go ahead and make an acrobatics check.
Oh, 18.
Okay. You managed to make it to them. Now remember, you are about, we'll say, 12 feet in the air, standing upright on this crystal, going down at an angle. So I would be careful how you phrase how you try to grab them. Depending on how you stand, I might have to make you do a check again.
Okay, here's a question. What kind of boots would be in my armor? Because I am from an area that's known for snow and
Snow isn't
ice.
gems.
I know. I'm wondering, am I wearing hobnail
No.
boots? Damn.
It's up here.
I was hoping if I stomp, I could wedge myself. Kunk, kunk. Got him. I want
To be fair, Norik and Arcus are 30 feet. Dante is 45 feet away.
Okay.
Dante picked.
How could he have picked up speed when he was behind me?
He's bigger than.
Because he started spinning, too. Centrifugal force.
Heavy thing going down slide.
Okay, how do you want me to describe how I'm standing? Like, oh, I squat down, I lean back and scoop them up. Like, is that what you're talking about, or
basically however you position it? If you literally just go bend over at the waist trying to grab them, you might meet your nose to the gem and start tumbling.
No. I will lean kind of like, I'm trying to think of how to describe this. Have you ever had to snag something while you're moving and you just lean to the side and scoop it up?
Like, are you talking about like leaning out of something to grab it?
Mildly.
I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, but
Like, say I'm doing it. Just scoop up.
you could grab one person like that. You're using the other hand for balance.
What would I have to do to get both of them?
Use a way that isn't using a hand for balance. You'd have to use both hands. That's why I'm asking you to describe how you do it.
How far are we from that crack that Norik made?
That's about under you right now, but with how big you are and the size of a halfling mace, you wouldn't really be able to notice. Do I do the smart thing and worry about catching one of you right now, or do I do the risky thing and try and stop you both? I'm going to try and scoop up Norik real quick. Okay. Just make an athletics check.
That's just a straight check. 15 plus 6, so 21.
Okay, you scoop up Norik. And Norik, you are no longer sliding in the hand of the giant elf.
And I'm trying to keep moving to try and keep up with Arcris.
Okay. Jay, is there anything you want to try to do?
It's not really anything I can do.
Okay. In that case, we will move back to Arcris and Dante.
Do not be afraid to bury your axe in my leg to stop yourself.
I'm gonna
Just
try.
I mean, he would do whatever it takes. Just don't fall.
I'm gonna try to take my crowbar out and latch that into the crystal if I can.
Make a sleight of hand check to go rummaging through your bag while sliding. Or an acrobatics check, whichever helps you best.
What else am I
Wasn't
gonna
she
do? I'm
on your
already
hip?
falling.
Huh? I didn't hear you, Jed.
I thought you'd already pulled it out, tried once, so isn't it technically still in her hand?
Her axe, she's grabbing her crowbar.
Oh, sorry.
You
That's
said
what you're supposed to
acrobatics
make your
or
axe.
stuff?
Acrobatics or sleight of hand, whichever is better for you.
Same thing, 13.
Okay. You managed to grab hold of the crowbar and take it out, but you're not gonna be able to swing it at the moment. And then also, make a dexterity saving throw for me. And yes, you can add that d4 to it.
when we're
8.
counting down.
You start to speed up away from Corin. Let's see, Dante. Dante seems to be slowing down, which sends you boot first into the side of the bear. At which point Dante turns and you feel his paw on you. He doesn't dig in his claws, but he kind of orients himself and stops spinning. He's dizzy, but he looks up to you. And Dante is going to look. You guys are starting to slowly down the crystal in what seems to be a mostly straight pattern. As long as you stay this way, you shouldn't fall off. And Dante decides to look, and he sees something. And that causes him, with a 22 athletics, to grapple Arcris and hold Arcris in a big fluffy ball.
Good boys try to be bestest boy. I love him so much.
Wait, but I have my plate on.
And
Where is he grabbing me?
he's literally just bear hugging you. He's big enough to do it.
Wait, what about the paw on his foot?
He had just gotten it on you. So he's literally using his grip to pull you in and wrap around you.
Oh no.
You can roll for see if you freak out or not. Arcris or Dante does know you're armed.
I rolled a straight 12.
Because this is a stress situation.
Is it a disadvantage then? Because I rolled a natural 12 with no mod.
What do you think? How would Arcris react under such stress and panic?
Not 1.
Okay, you panic. You full on panic.
Well, question: when Arcris pulled out the crowbar, did she manage to keep hold of Diza as well?
She doesn't have to hold on to Diza. She can summon and unsummon Diza as she pleases. Or well, he pleases, I mean.
You let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me. It just gets louder and louder, and he just starts squirming as he tries to break free.
Okay, you can make an athletics or an acrobatics check to try. Actually, no, you have to wait till your turn. Sorry. All right, Corin, and Norik, you notice that the now just simply lump of bear holding onto the human is careening down the crystal.
How far away?
At this point, they'd be about 100 feet.
How far is Jay's cart?
About 30 to 40 feet from you.
What's the likelihood of me being able to throw Norik that far?
That far? No problem.
But to not bounce him out of the cart.
You gotta remember, past the cart is just nothing and whirlpool.
Yeah. I'm going to just yell, "Hold on!" and like put him on my shoulders so that he can grab my hair. And I'm booking it.
You're gonna sprint?
Yeah.
Acrobatics, disadvantage.
Let's add the D4. Okay, that's better. I rolled an 11 and then a 4 on the D4. Thank God. Acrobatics. 16.
Okay. You managed to make it 60 feet.
And I'll action surge and do it again.
Okay. Roll with the disadvantage again.
Oh, thank God, that was better. But just to be safe, I'm rolling the D4.
I don't know if you can do it twice, can you?
No.
I thought it was for any roll.
No.
Was it you get the d4 once and then it's used up?
Hang on. Oh, I guess it's before the spell ends. Okay, so if it's been less than a minute. Yeah, you can do it again, I guess.
It would have been a minute
Did-
climbing the other side of the
Oh.
jump.
Okay, never mind then. That is a 16 again.
Okay. But you used the dash action twice, so you were up on them, but that is what you can do.
Yep. That's fine.
Alright. So it is now.
I'm hoping Dante will think to just grab hold of me.
Dante can't see you. Dante has gone full bear ball mode.
Do I have any idea what he saw?
You can try and look down.
A disadvantage or
Just look. Just say you look down the crystal.
okay? I looked down the crystal.
You see that in the middle of the path going down, right from where they're going to slide, there is a large crystal jutting out. And it seems that the Volcanda and the Warlock are on a collision course.
Fucking hell! I need more movement.
Dante. Oh, he has to make a disadvantage because he's grappled with you. Ooh, yeah, Dante does not make a save and picks up more speed. And we'll retry. Oh, are you going to try and escape the grapple, Arcris?
Is there a way I can try to, like, push him off me towards them?
You could try an athletic. With you panicking right now, you're not exactly spatially aware. It's just you and this bear in high speed.
I'm assuming I'm just trying to push him up and away.
Pushing him off would be athletics.
10.
Yeah, he crushed that. You are still in the bear's grasp. At this point, Corin, they are now a full 120 feet away.
I was just on them.
Right. They had
How are they?
every time he fails a dex save, they keep picking up speed.
Fucking
Think about it. A encounter that makes you keep picking up speed towards a solid object in the middle. What could the trap be?
hell. Oh god. I'm gonna pull my lance and throw it like a spear.
At
The crystal. I'm trying to shatter it.
okay, you can make a. This would be a strength check with disadvantage.
But I have advantage because I'm in giant form.
So you would just do it straight.
Guys, wish the yellow die luck. The luck has continued.
Hold on, I need to look up something because I might have to burst your bubble.
It doesn't have a throw, but I'm so big I was hoping I could basically manhandle it like a spear.
It doesn't have a throw. It doesn't have the range, and I also want to see if things that you throw become small again.
It said it grows with you, but it doesn't specify if it leaves you.
Guys, I feel really bad.
Well, knowing that oh, it doesn't say anything, but you can throw it. I wouldn't feel too bad. If you can't help, you can't help. But yeah, okay, so what did you roll, Brad?
Another nat 20.
Okay.
The yellow die continues the luck.
Go ahead and roll the damage. We'll see if it breaks.
Ugh. It keeps the same damage.
Plus a d6.
That's right. Where's my weapons? Fuck. 1d12. There. Go with the red one. And a d6 will go with the matching one. Plus 4. Holy hell, I got max damage on the d6 and fairly high on the d12. 13. 17.
Okay. You throw the lance, and it just barely connects at the bottom of the crystal. And the crystal breaks a bit, but Otherwise, all that happens is the lance bounces off, and the crystal is still standing.
And I'll move the 30 again.
Okay. So go ahead and make a acrobatics check. If you're just moving 30.
Uh, 17.
Okay. You managed to stay on your feet. Jay, I imagine this whole time you're just moving down at the recommended pace.
Yep.
Okay.
Norik, if you have anything that can reach that far because you're sitting on my shoulders, shoot it at the crystal.
No shit, Sherlock. And I do
Okay.
have something. I'm going to use a guiding bolt
Okay.
and aim at the exact same spot where that lance hit.
All right.
I'm trying to remember if I can buff it or not.
You can not buff guiding bolt.
You can cast it at a higher level.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Cast a higher level for more damage. I thought you meant there was anything else.
No, that's what I meant. It's like buff it for.
Yeah, you get
That-
4d6 for level 1 and then 1d6 per level.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to try. Oh, God, help me. I'd say he's going to say a quick prayer to the Numia. It's like, let this guide, and say, be my guide. Let this bolt hit where it must. And say he's going to cast guiding bolt at 2nd level just to be safe.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
$19 to hit.
Okay, that hits.
I'm officially retiring that yellow die for the night.
Don't say that yet, dude. Sorry, I have to look up what the number of dice was.
It's 5d6.
Fuck, I forgot to double the damage. Shit!
It wouldn't have helped.
No?
The crystal is very resistant to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing.
Oh, well, there we go.
Makes sense why this has stayed here with this giant whirlpool.
So it's 5d6, Hazen?
Yes.
Holy fuck, I can't believe I did that. 26 points of radiant damage.
Okay. You launch a blast of holy energy at this crystal, and you just see it explodes, and the crystal is still standing, but as the dust kind of settles from it, it's created this kind of rounded alcove, which at least might be a softer landing for them. It also does seem like Dante is starting to slow down, and he's starting to figure out how to both hold on to Arcus and slow their descent a bit. Arcus, is there anything you'd like to try to do?
He still wants to get out.
Are you doing rolls to see if he's still panicking or not? I'm just curious.
No, I was not, because I wasn't sure how that worked.
I'd allow you to try to regain control of yourself.
8.
Yeah, still panicky. Dante is going to try and slow down even more. He is not going to. All right.
I mean, do I get to roll to try to break out still? Or
Yes, you
is
can
the
try.
Panicking my only roll.
No. You could try either athletics or acrobatics to escape.
17.
Nope. The bear still has you, unfortunately. He's a strong bear. He invented bear hugs.
He's just not quick on his feet.
Yeah. So as this bear holds you tight to the point where you can almost hear your armor squeaking a little bit,
Oh.
there is a collision. Everything is jarring. You are pressed into the fur even more so than you already were before shaking a bit and coming to rest. You heard a loud crack as the impact happened as well. The arms on top of you are no longer squeezing as much as they're just simply holding. There doesn't seem to be a lot of power in them right now.
Oh God.
What do you do, Arcris?
Did we fall?
You can try and get up and look.
Oh.
I'm still not clear about how we've fallen or where we've fallen
I'm not saying anyone's
relative to
fallen.
the water edge.
I'm not saying anybody's fallen off the edge yet.
Can I? Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd still try to get up.
Okay. You've stopped sliding, and you pull away from Dante's embrace. It's not overly hard, it's just getting the limbs off you, and then you can get up. You see that you're now a little bit past the base of that crystal bridge. You managed to make it all slide all the way to the bottom without coming off. However, there was a giant crystal in the way that Dante saw and seemed to be trying to make sure you didn't crash into. The Volcanda is laying on his side. He is panting. And just. It doesn't seem to look up at you right now. He just seems to be looking.
Shaking, I pull out my medical kit and see if I can do anything. Hesitantly, when my left hand goes to touch him, I just shake more.
Okay. Go ahead and make a wisdom check.
Nine.
His breathing is quite ragged, and he spits up a little blood. You think there's a punctured lung. Not only that, you think there might be broken bones in the spinal cord. You think you can stabilize him long enough that if Corin hurries, Nora can save him.
And I'll start working on that.
Okay. Corin and Norik, you see, you saw what happened. You saw the tight ball reach the bottom, and for a moment, Dante bloomed like a flower with how his limbs opened, but then quickly held Arcris again. And then Arcris just gets up from the red and black pile that is sitting under the crystal. And Arcris seems to be bending over him, tools by his side working. His movements seem frantic.
Tears actually start coming down Norik's face.
I'm going to grab Norik, and I'm going to say, no matter what happens, you heal Dante as soon as we get down there. And I'm going to dash, activate my other rune as a bonus action, and I'm going to slide, aiming for right next to that outcrop. And pull a Dante and ball up around Norik.
Make a acrobatics check. As you basically try the skating ball.
15.
Okay. It takes you a little bit longer than it did Dante did too, but you do still have some semblance of wanting to make there alive. You eventually do make it to the bottom.
Like the minute they touch bottom, Norik's gonna like hop off and immediately tend to Dante.
It was either that or bowl Norik down that way. It's the fastest way I could think to get down there. I'm a very large creature. I'm very heavy. Fuck it!
All right. So, what's being done?
Question, Hazen, just so I'm clear about this. Is he affected with the paralysis condition, or is he just broken that badly?
You don't think he could move if he wanted to, but you don't think there's any magical effect
Okay.
causing it. So, what is it that you want to do?
I'm looking at all of the healing shit he can do, and I'm trying to double check to see which the best way of going through all of this would be.
I do have to say that this is a time is of the effort situation. Or time is of.
No, I completely understand. You said he took that much damage, though. That's well past his.
You wouldn't know. All you know is
HP,
he's
though.
hurt.
I'm gonna do Cure Wounds level 2 first.
Okay. You do remember that healing doesn't have to heal negative HP. You just have to, like, as soon as you do it, it starts with 0 and gives HP.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Cure Wounds 2 first.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Now, if Discord will be nice. If not, I'll just do it in Google.
I don't think it's in that chat.
Oh, maybe it won't do it in here. Oop. Okay, let's try it the other way then, shall I?
In the chat for this call, no. We can't put bots in here.
That's fine. Didn't know. That's cool. Okay, it's 11 plus another 3, so that's 14 points.
Okay. You lay your hands on Dante and, through your magic and illumination, flush the death out of him and fill him with a bit more life. And his breathing seems to become regular. He seems to move around a bit as the bones start to heal as well.
If he even tries to get up, I'm gonna like smack him on the nose and tell him stay down.
Oh, he's not trying to get up.
I think I've got another one. Gonna also, if possible, because it's only a once per short rest thing. I want to see if I could also, after doing that, activate my dragon mark.
Okay.
But I guess it's also another action thing.
If you just wait a moment and nobody else wants to do anything with him, you can.
I'm not going to do anything with him. I'm going to check on Arcris.
Okay.
Lead him a little bit away from Dante to help him calm down.
Okay.
He'll just kind of shake Corin off and walk away with him.
All right. So go ahead with your dragon mark real quick, Nark.
I just had to double check what my hit dice are. I believe it's an 8. Yes.
Your hit dice is a D8.
Regains another 7.
Okay. So, Arcris, how you doing?
He's just watching now. I'm just watching, seeing what's gonna happen. More calm, but out of breath, I guess.
How far away from them am I, or would I have to fall?
You're at this moment going the normal pace. We'll say right now you're still about 100 feet away. But as long as you maintain the pace you're at, you'll make it to them soon.
Okay.
I'm going to be standing semi-near Arcus, and I just want to look over and say, you know, I saw what you did there. Pushing past that trauma, that fear that's been controlling you. That takes strength.
Yeah. It's your toss to talk about something you don't know much about, but thanks.
I've seen how you react to just about any animal. For you to willingly get that close to try and help one, it couldn't have been easy.
Yeah, it's not easy when you bear the scars of something like that either.
I can relate. And he just looks north.
All right.
How's Dante seem to be doing at this point?
He seems to be doing better. He does seem to want to get up now.
Seeing this and say that acts like he's wanting to get up, and say Nork's gonna put his arms around his big fuzzy head and just kind of give him a quick squeeze, but then he's gonna pat him on his head and say, "No, no, no, you're gonna rest tonight. You're not gonna move anymore. We're camping here."
Are there any sizable chunks of that crystal laying around?
Oh, quite a few from where you chipped some off and Narek hollowed out a part.
Do I see my lance, or did it go in the water?
You know what? I'll roll a percentile for it. Well, unfortunately, you got under 10%. So if you, as you look for your lance, you turn around and you see it in the water, just coasting along the whirlpool.
Yeah, my father gave me that. That's a shame. I'm gonna bend down and pick up like a fist-sized chunk of that stone, though, and I'm guessing where I have to maintain my like horse's like tackle,
Mhm.
you know, bridle and stuff. I have a sizable just piece of leather, just like a strip of it.
Okay.
I want to take that and try to make a rudimentary, like barbarian-looking pendant out
All
of
right.
it.
All right, Narek, is there anybody else you want to check out before we call it?
Yeah, he's gonna stand up and he's just gonna kind of like he's shaking a little bit, but he gets up and he just kind of takes a deep breath, lets it out, and then kind of plasters a smile on his face, and turns to the two of you. It's like, "So how are the two of you doing? I've got a little bit more magic left to help heal if we need it."
I'm all right.
And you guys, the smile for once in a long time definitely does not reach his eyes.
I'm feeling fine myself. Check Arcus.
By this time, Jay arrives.
Does anything need a heal?
So he'll turn and say, Nork will turn back, and you see like tear tracks down his face. He says, "Well, Dante could use a little more, but he's okay at the moment. I figured a rest overnight would probably be better for everybody. What do you
Sounds
think?"
good to me. Sounds good to me.
Okay.
So how are you, Arcus?
Don't worry about it.
I'll talk his head at, it's like, "That's not what I asked. Do you need to be healed?"
Oh, I thought you said I'm sorry. No, I'm fine.
No. I'll just nod his head, then he'll go back and just kind of squat in front of Dante again, just keeping an eye on him.
Before we call it, can I walk over towards Dante slowly
Sure.
with that rudimentary pendant?
Sure.
No. I'm not getting super close, but I want to look at Dante and just say, I know you probably don't like me very much right now, but doing something that brave deserves something. Back where I'm from, it would have got you, a special commendation or maybe something.
The Volcanda looks up at the speaking, sees it's you, and just kind of.
Okay, Nork, will you give them this? And I'll hand off the pendant.
You can tell he's not in a good mood.
Yeah, I got that. And I plan on trying to get back on his good side by giving him plenty of fresh animals. But there are none around here. And my main any sort of range thing is gone now.
Okay.
So I basically made him a pendant / collar that has a chunk of stone.
Okay. And Jen, we didn't hear you because both of your hands were definitely in the air.
Son of a bitch! I keep forgetting about the button. I was gonna have him put like, and see, he tries to turn his head to growl at Corn. Nork's gonna have him like kind of like one of those, like no such thing as like a neck collar in this thing, but it's kind of one of those. He knows the same concept. You just got injured, don't move. Type thing. So he's gonna try to make sure he just guide his head back to him and then pat him on the head. It's like none of that, not right now.
All right. And with that, I think this is a good place to leave off.
Oh my god, the halfling's angry. I didn't think I'd be seeing this soon.
Halfling angry, tiny man full of big rage. This is gonna be fun.
We'll see what comes of it. This is interesting.
Yepper. If you're still here, thank you, Jacob Uchiha 1233 for the follow. And hopefully we will be able to do this a little more regularly with Black Friday coming up. We'll keep you guys posted because we're not really sure how that's gonna go.
Fun times.
Yep. But we'll post it on our Twitter at Performance Roll. We've got the YouTube, which is also Roll Performance ROLE. Am I missing anything?
I'd say if you're not caught up to speed with where we've got and see what's happened to us up to that point, we have been archiving all of them on that YouTube channel. Please go watch it if you want to catch up.
So the last two or maybe 3 videos aren't up, and that's something I'm going to get done this week, probably Sunday. But I will take care of that. I have said this live, and now I have to do it, or I will look like an asshole on the internet.
I mean, isn't that how most people look on the internet?
No, Brad, we tell you that so you don't feel ashamed. Hi, and everybody.
I'm probably the most hated person in the group right now.
Oh no, that's not it at all.
No.
Oh no, I'm talking about like any viewers. They're gonna be like, "It's that dumbass's fault." I tried to make up for it.
Brad.
Yeah.
What?
That's what I'd say.
I
But
keep thinking, Hazen, you want to tell everybody how much HP damage Dante actually took with that hit?
So how this works is basically when you slip and fall, you make dexterity checks. If you get above 10, you start to slow down. If you get below 10, you start to speed up. Crit success, you stop yourself. Crit fail, you double your speed. Dante crit failed twice. So he
Oh god.
a lot of momentum. He managed to slow down some with Arcus, but still took a little over 100 HP damage.
Holy hell.
And
Luckily-
he only had 64 HP total.
Yeah, so luckily the boy's a tank.
Because if you double damage, to folks who don't know, like if you go double your points under, you're insta dead.
Yep.
Yeah, so I almost had insta dead panda mount.
So I was like, get down there as fast as possible. Shit.
There would have been a car ride up to here, and I would have been throttled at my front door. Give me back my panda!
Oh no, she'd probably come and kill me first because it was my idea.
Yeah, that's when you said, well, I'll slide down to go faster. I was like, yes, you will.
I'm just glad I went through every single one of my spells. I'm like, I don't have range. Damn it, I have to have touch.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Who all here was who all here was begging to have a rope, feather fall, or something else like that?
I mean, I had a rope, but
Yeah,
what could I
feather
have done?
Oh, you couldn't have done anything with that rope.
Like, that was literally all I had.
I was debating like tying rope onto like a crossbow bolt and shooting it. And then I thought about it, it's like, nope, they're too far already. Oh god.
As soon as I saw that spike, I was like, oh fuck, I gotta get in front of him. I gotta get in front of him. I can be resistant. And yeah, that didn't happen.
Yep. But all right, we are going to call it here. So good night, everybody. We will see you next week. Maybe we'll see. We'll give you updates.
Bye, everybody. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.